everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juliet. In today's video I will be showing you how to make a simple shirt. Here is my fabric. I folded it into two using the tie measurement I'm working with divided by 2 plus extra 1 inch for allowance. Here I'm marking the length of the short plus extra 2 inches for folding. If this is your first time on this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please consider subscribing. Next, I'm going to mark the crotch measurement I'm working with. So I divided the hip measurement by 4, which is what I'm marking here. So next on this line, I'm going to mark the hip measurement again, divided by 4, plus extra 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark the same thing all the way to the waistline. Then I will make a curve on this side like so. Next from this line, I'm going to mark the waist measurement I'm working with divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch. Then I will connect that point to the crotch line like so. Next, I'm going to get the midpoint of this part, this crotch line. I'm going to get the center point, and then I will mark it all the way to the length of the shirt. Using my ruler, I'm going to connect that into a straight line. Next, I'm marking the length of the shirt, the exact length that I'm working with. I'm going to connect that too into a straight line. And this is where we're going to mark the round measurement. So the shirt is going to be slightly above the knee. So the round measurement at that point is what I'm marking there, divided by 2. So I divided the measurement by 2, and then I placed it, half of it in the middle, and then I marked on both sides of those lines. Or you can just divide it by 4 and then mark one of it on this side and then the other on the other side of the line. So I've connected the point to the crotch side, and now I'm cutting out. After cutting out this length, I'm going to fold in the seam and the folding allowance. This is so that we don't have any problem folding it later on. So that is it for the front part of the shirt. Next, we're going to be cutting the back piece. So for the back, we're going to fold the fabric into 2 as well. This time around, it's going to be the lap measurement divided by 2 plus extra 1 like we did for the front, and then another 3 inches. That is what we're going to use to fold. And then it's going to be longer by 2 inches. So that's the 2 inches I wrote at the top. And then I place the front piece on it, and then I'm connecting the waist in the slant. So the extension at the back is only on the crotch side. I slanted it to meet the actual waist on this side of the trouser. So on the shirt, sorry. So on this crotch line, I'm going to add extra 2.5 inches. You can add 3 if you're sewing for a really plus size person. And then on the length of the shirt, I added extra 2 inches. So I'm going to connect that point back to the crotch side like so. And then I'm cutting out the waist part. So I extended the waist by 2 inches on the crotch side only. I slanted it back to meet the actual waistline of the front, as you can see. Then I added 2.5 inches on the crotch side, and then added 2 inches down at the length. So on this other side of the shirt is going to be exactly the same. We're just cutting out the same shape. And that is it for the back piece. This is it for the back piece. So next we're going to be cutting the pocket. I have two pieces of fabric here, 13 inches by 13 inches. So I placed them right sides together and then I folded into two. Next I'm placing the front part, that's the side seam of the front part of the short, on it, on the folded end of these pocket pieces. So I'm going to trace out that shape, as you can see. Next I will take out one leg piece and one pocket piece. I'm going to place them on top of each other, wrong sides together. So making sure that shape I traced out is matching, I place them wrong side on top of wrong side. On this waistline, I am marking 2 inches inwards and then I'm marking 7 inches down on the side, as you can see. So I'm going to make a notch at that 7 inches point and then I'll fold in. I'm folding in a slant, that 2.5 inches on the waist side, all the way to the 7 inches down, and then I'm using my iron to iron it in. You can use hemming gum at this point to hold it in place. I'm using my pins. So I'm going to go top stitch at that point and then join the pocket bag on the down part. So I'll stop stitch here and then I will close this part. I'm going to do the same thing for the second pocket piece. I'm placing them wrong sides together and then I'm going to go in by 2.5 inches on the waist side. Then I will come down by 7 inches like so. I will make a notch, a tiny notch about 1/4 inch, and then I will fold inwards. We're folding into the wrong side. Using my iron, I'm going to iron that flat. Use my pins to hold in place, and then we'll go and make a top stitch like so, and then close the pocket bag like so. Fold it back into two and just sew on the down part. So after sewing the pocket, I went ahead to cut lining pieces for both the front and the back. I'll be lining the shorts, but this is completely optional, you don't have to. I'm going to place the lining pieces on the wrong side of the back. This is the back trouser leg. So I'm going to treat the lining as one with the trouser legs and I'll go sew on that point. I'm going to do the same thing for the front piece. This is the pocket so far. I just pinned the upper part in place for now. I'm placing the lining on the wrong side just like we did on the front. Doing the same thing for the second leg. So next, on the left leg, on the left side of the front, that's the left leg of the front, I'm going to place my zip like so, and then here's a piece of fabric I cut. It's about 4 inches wide and then 9 inches long, so I folded that into two. I'm going to place the zip, the right side of the zip facing the right side of the trouser, and then this piece on top of it. I will go sew using 1/2 inch, and then I have the same piece, the second one. I'm going to sew it on the right leg like so. So this is the back. I've joined it together, and then this is the front. I've sewn the zip, and this is what it's looking like so far. You don't have to use a long zip like me. This is what I had available, so yeah. And then here's the other leg. Now I'm going to place them right sides together like so, making sure the flap is facing in the same direction. So I'm going to place them together, making sure everything is aligned like so. And then I will go sew using 1/2 inch from that point down to the end of the crotch. I'm sewing it 1 inch above where the zip stopped. And this is what we have. After sewing this down, as you can see, This is what it's looking like so far. So next we are going to go join the zip to the other side of the front. I'm pinning it back, making sure everything is aligned and nothing is rumpled. So I will turn it to this wrong side now, and then sew the zip, only the zip on the second flap. So it's the zip on the flap. We're not sewing the zip on the trouser, on the shorts. So after sewing the zip, this is what we have. Next, we're going to go make that line. You know that line you always see on your jeans or on your trousers? Just make it in a curve like so. I'm just going to use my chalk and just follow it that way. After which we will join the trouser on the side. But first you want to make sure that you're not sewing the two flaps down. So after sewing, I'm just going to tack it only on the downside. So the other flap, the two flaps are not joined together. I'm sure you can see. I've also joined the side seams of the trouser, and this is what we have. Next, I'm going to pin the inseam, matching that crotch seam. I'll pin it in place. Then I would check my measurement again. That's the knee round. I'll mark it there. We're going to go sew all the way to this other side, making sure our measurements are accurate. That's the knee round divided by 2. So after sewing, this is it. Next, I have the band. This is the waistband. It's 5 inches wide, and then the length is longer than the waist measurement I'm working with. So I folded it in twice, and then I folded again in half. Next, we're going to go sew it on the waistline of this shirt. So I'm placing it like so. I'm going to go sew it all the way around. After that, I will cut out the excess zip. So after sewing it around, this is it. I'm going to mark the 4 corners. Know where your dart will normally sit. That's your bust band measurement. I'll mark that on the back leg, and then on the front, on the back side, and on the front side as well. I'm going to add an elastic on the sides of the waist just to make it fit better. That is completely optional, you don't have to. So after making the marks, I place the elastic at the point, so from the front, that point, to the back. I'm going to go tack the elastic pieces down on the band, then we'll come back and finish the waistband. After that, we're going to close the band like so on both sides, and then cut out the excess. So this is it. We have tacked the elastic. See how it's looking. So the elastic is on the sides of the shorts, on the waistband. Next, we're going to fold the raw edges in and then close up the waistband like so. When you get to the elastic point, I just pull and then add a hook, and this is it. So far it's coming together already. So next we're going to fold the leg of the trouser. I'm going to fold it this way, and then I will measure the length that I'm working with, and then I will fold it in. I'll just use my iron so it makes things a little bit easier for me. So using the iron, I creased it, and then I'm folding that crease inside. I'm going to do the same thing for the second leg, making sure they are both equal. So I'm going to measure it again to be sure that I have the length that I'm working with, and then use my iron to crease it even more. Let's start from the wrong side. I'm going to go fold in like so, and then I will sew round the leg, and that is basically it on how to make this simple shirt. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will see you in my next video. Please like this video, comment, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video. Thank you again for watching. Bye.